Hey folks, my name's John Oakes. I'm here with Hankster's Hot Rods in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location, and today we're going to be going over another new addition to our inventory. This one comes to us by way of consignment, and it is a 1966 Chevy 2 Nova SS, and yes, it is a true SS. It is a 118 VIN code car. Now this one here, as we can see, it is done in this nice orange exterior here with the black vinyl top, all of which the paint, the top, and all of that is in really good shape, and we'll check it out as we walk around our car here today. First thing we can kind of see here is the hood. The hood, all steel, and you can see that it's been louvered, and they did a really nice job on these louvers. This is, you know, a very unique look for this car, but it's a really good look for it, I think. Nice classic look here with those louvers. As far as the rest of the car, we'll continue on from there. All the bright work, we're going to hit on that as we walk around the car, but all the bright work on this car is in really good condition. Bumpers, headlight bezels, taillight bezels, all your window trim and so forth, all in great shape. You can see our Nova here, it actually has the wheel lip molding on all four corners, all of which is in really good shape. Wheels and tires on this car. We've got a set of chrome steel rally wheels, and these are 14-inch wheels, all four corners of the car. Now, as far as tires on the front, we've got 185/75 R14s on the front. And then when we get to the back, just so you can see the size and, you know, hear what that difference is, we'll tell you about that when we get there. As you can see, our Nova here, it's got the rocker moldings on it. Those are in great shape on this car. Nice and straight all the way back, all attached and fastened as they should be. Looks really good on the car. As far as our doors go on this car and overall panel fitment and alignment, everything looks really good on this particular car. You can see your gaps to the front side of the door, as well as the gaps to the back side of the door. All very uniform, nice tight gaps on this car. The elevations, as far as your quarter panels and your fenders in relation to that door, are all in really good shape. And as you can see here, all of your body lines all match up all the way down, front and back. The door handles are in good condition, the chrome on those. We have both the driver's side and the passenger side mirrors. These are chrome mirrors. They've got the little bow tie emblem on the back side, and the glass on those is all in great shape. Now these are just manual adjust mirrors. You just reach out and position it wherever you need it to go. Back in '66, you did not have the option for the you know, the remote adjust. As far as your window trim and moldings all the way around, those are all in good shape. Nicely polished up there, nice and straight all the way around, and all fastened up just the way they should be. Your windshield here, nice windshield, the glass, no chips or cracks whatsoever. The side glass, again, probably slightly tinted here. Your wing window, side glass, and your quarter window here, all in great shape. No chips or cracks to speak of on any of that. Again, all of your trim work here, your bright work, all is in great shape. No dents or dings, nice and straight, polished up really nice here all the way around. As I run my finger through that rain gutter, nice and smooth there, no bubbles anywhere. And then especially on these vinyl top cars where you usually see sometimes some bumps and bruises here, is right around these lower edges really, and there is none. This is super straight all the way back and all the way around on this car. Your vinyl top itself, all of your seams are in great shape there too, no issues whatsoever. Let's go ahead and open our door up, that way we can see the interior now. Again, on this car, we've got an all black interior as well, all vinyl. So your upholstery on the seats, the front buckets there, in great shape, no rips or tears there. Your carpeting's in great shape. Again, no rips, tears, and no real fading to speak of. Factory dash, factory instrumentation and on this car. Does have an aftermarket steering wheel with the SS horn button right in the center. Full length automatic center console, and it does have some aftermarket gauges right under underneath the radio. Those are going to consist of your voltmeter, water temperature, and oil pressure gauges. And then up above for your radio, you are going to have an aftermarket AM/FM cassette player there. Door panels are in great shape. Armrests are in great shape with no cracks or anything like that in the armrest panels. And all of your weather stripping and all of your seals around all of your glass and your door here is all in great shape. Nice and soft all the way around. No rips or tears or chunks out of it. Everything will all seal up really good on this car. Let's go ahead and close our door. Again, you can see the door shuts very nice and easy. As we come to the back, again, I'll stop here. We'll go over the tire sizes back here. We've got two 45/60 R14s on the rear wheels. Again, these are still a 14-inch wheel. Back here, we've got a chrome gas door here, chrome gas cap here, and that is an actual where you fill the fuel. As we get into talking more about the trunk and the underside of the car here, you'll understand why I want to point that out, that you're still going to fill your fuel right from this area here. As far as the emblems here, you've got the Super Sport script badging here on the rear quarter panels, and again, you can see how nice those emblems are. We'll get to the rear of the car here now. So again, as we get to the tail lights, the bezels around there, the bright work, as well as the lenses themselves are in great shape. No cracks, no chips in any of those lenses. The bezels themselves are in very nice shape here, and you can see your gaskets too all the way around are in really good shape. Trunk lid itself, the fitment is really nice on this. Gaps all the way around, very uniform on the trunk. The rear glass is in good condition too. No chips or cracks there. And again, your bright work, the molding all the way around, very nice there, polished up really good, and all attached as it should be. As far as your cladding here on the rear of the trunk lid itself, again, this is just your stock stuff here. Chevy 2 right there in the center, along with the SS badging over there on the right-hand side. The bumper itself is in excellent shape. The chrome is just perfect, polished up really, really nice. And then down below, you can see those dual, the exhaust tips there, which we'll see those a little better too from the underside of the car. We are going to open our trunk up. Okay, there we go. The actual key and the latch all work. We'll raise that up. The spring to hold the trunk lid up all function as it should. Underside, you can see done in that same orange as the rest of the exterior of the car. The little rubber bump stops there for the trunk lid, those are present. And then of course your weather stripping here, practically all new here, meets right in the center. Again, in great condition. Your water channels or rain gutters back here, those are all nice and solid all the way around. That's going to help direct any of that water, rain, whatever it may be, right away from that trunk lid and back, out the outside of the car here. That way nothing goes in the trunk and lays in here. You're going to stay nice and dry. And as far as the trunk itself, the floor is in great shape. You got this nice trunk mat back here, all solid floor, all drain plugs are installed as they should be. You can see that they did do a battery relocation box here. So that is where in fact the battery is. Your cables run out the side and just through the wheel well back there. You can see that they have used grommets in there so that it doesn't nick the wires or anything. Everything's good and safe. You do see the speakers back here, and those do function as do the AM/FM cassette player also. That's all in working order on this car. Now, I had mentioned there about the gas fill door there and so forth. When we get to the underside, I'm going to show you, it does not have a stock fuel tank in it. I don't necessarily want to really call it a fuel cell either, because what it has is it's just a square or rectangular fuel tank, custom-made tank. It runs the regular fuel fill neck right up to the fuel fill door there, or the gas cap. Again, it fills up just like it normally would. It's just an aftermarket tank per se that they've gone ahead and installed. and I believe they've done it, and I'll probably call this out in the underside video. They've probably done it to make room for the exhaust that they put on this car. They've went ahead and done a full 3-inch exhaust, 3-inch tailpipes the whole way back. I think it was just mainly to make room so they could get that all installed in there. Trunk closes nice and easy. As we get to the passenger side of the car, I always like to point out the sides. If we look down the sides, super straight the whole way down. Like I said, this paint's in nice condition. The metal on this car is in really good condition. Everything's all lined up. The matching Super Sport emblems here. Again, you can see the condition of the wheels and the tires on this side of the car. The condition of the vinyl top too. Again, no bumps or bruises whatsoever. Nice and straight across here. As we go through the rain gutter on this side, nice and smooth. Your moldings here, your rain gutter trim, all of that is in great shape. Seams on your vinyl top, no rips or tears there either. Very nice. Glass on this side. Again, no chips or cracks there. Door handles in great shape. Mirror in great shape too as far as the finish goes there. We will go over here. I just noticed that I do want to point out the side glass here on the passenger side does have a crack in it, but again, everything else all looks to be in really good shape. Now as we look at the passenger side of the interior, again, you'll notice no rips or tears in that seat upholstery. The seats are in really good shape. They even have all the chrome trim and piping around them, so all of that looks good. Another thing, if we can take a look at, just a kind of a nice safety feature on the car, if you look down on the passenger side floor, there is a little knob down there. That is a battery disconnect switch. So whenever you aren't running the car, and let's just say that you want to make sure the battery doesn't run down for any reason or any kind of safety reasons really, you just flip that knob there, it shuts the power off to the battery completely. We'll close this up, and now we'll go over to the front end of the car. Basically everything else, just kind of the same as what the other side was there. Fitment, gaps, elevations, all of that in really nice order on this car. As we get to the front end, of course, you're going to see more of that hood there. All of your gaps the whole way around the hood. You can see how well that hood actually fits. All of your bezels around your headlights, your chrome front bumper, which again is in great condition on this car. The glass on your headlamps here, no cracks or anything there. And then your grille is in great condition. There's nothing broke here, all good and solid. And of course you see the Chevy 2 and the SS badging there on the grille. What we'll do now is we're going to open the hood up, and we'll go ahead and talk about what we have in here as far as our motor and kind of the rest of the drive line on the car. As we open the hood up, kind of one of the first things you're going to see here obviously is this panel that they've gone ahead and installed in here. It's a mirrored panel. It's kind of neat for those of you that would want to take the car out and do any kind of car shows and so forth with it. It's just kind of a feature that some of those guys do so that you can really see some of the particulars about the engine and stuff, and all of the shiny stuff per se. Now on this car here, again, as I mentioned, it is a real 118 SS Super Sport Nova, but it does not have the original motor in it. This is a 350 cubic inch GM Vortec motor. You can tell it's got the center bolt valve covers, center bolt heads on it there. The plug wires are all in good shape here. HEI ignition. You got the chrome air filter here, air cleaner covers and so forth. It does have a Holley 4-barrel carburetor on it there with the electric choke. All your heater lines are all hooked up. Got a nice chrome alternator down here. Looks like we got aluminum pulleys. It's got kind of the stock style radiator in it here, along with like one of those flex light fan blades in there also. You can also see kind of some more of those mirrored panels up here in the front of the car. Again, just to kind of provide that, you know, that sense of, you know, a little bit more bling underneath the hood per se. You can also see kind of a good thing on these cars. It has the dual oil filter mount, and it's the remote oil filter mount. So you can see that's why it's done up here on the fender well, so that you can very easily get to those steel braided lines with AN fittings on that stuff. So again, everything's going to seal up very nice. Dual oil filter, it's going to definitely keep your oil nice and clean. And then as far as like the headers and so forth, the exhaust on this car, it does have a nice set of long tube hooker headers on it, full dual exhaust on it, 3-inch all the way back on this car, including the tailpipes, and dual set of Flowmaster mufflers on here. It is power brakes, as you can see. It's disc brakes on the front, drums out on the back, all complete with your emergency brake. And it is a manual steering car. Now, on these Novas, that manual steering shouldn't scare you away on that car, or on a car like this at all. These cars are really light, especially with a small block Chevy in them. You don't have that any problem. As a matter of fact, having manual steering on one of these cars probably even gives you a little bit better you know, steering input as far as everything like that goes from the cockpit of the car. For transmission behind this, we've got a turbo 350 automatic transmission. They did outfit this with a tranny cooler also underneath the car there, so we'll point that out when we get to the underside video. And also it's got a 10-bolt GM rear end in it, limited slip differential with a 323 gearing in that. Other things I'll quickly point out about it, it's got a really nice front end setup on it, made by CPP. It's got kind of the mini subframe underneath there, got tubular upper and lower control arms. It's got the corrected steering geometry with the right tie rods and so forth on it, all brand new ball joints and everything on it like that. So the whole front end of this car is just going to be, you know, great as far as handling. It even has the sway bar on it too. So I'll just kind of leave you also with a consignment car. It does not qualify for the warranty. You know, if there's any kind of components, any kind of accessories and so forth that you might not see on the car that you would maybe like to add, definitely hit us up on the phones, email, text message. Let us go to work for you. We will actually get you some quotes on parts and labor to have anything it is that you may want to add to this, to get that all installed. That's just kind of what we do. We try to help out in any way that we can to help get you into your next classic car. So with that said, we'll go ahead and close this all up. We'll get it on our lift and we'll show you what the underside of this car looks like. Hey folks, here we are once again back on our lift. We're going to go through our next vehicle here. Again, keep in mind this is a consignment vehicle. That's how it came to us. So we're just going to go over, tell you everything that we know about this car. Obviously, we've already been around the outside of it. So now we're going to tell you about what we see underneath here. So again, on this car, actually a lot of goodies. We'll start off with the suspension for this particular car. As you can see here, it does not have the stock cross member on it. It has the CPP is the name brand. It's got the cross member assembly here. It's going to have the sway bar, the tubular upper and lower control arms. It's got the tie rods with the corrected geometry on it here for your steering. All of that, again, very nice. It is all, it's very adjustable too. So whenever you see where your ball joints and so forth all mount to, you can see the different positions for adjustment. Of course, this car has been dialed into where it needs to be with using the correct stuff there. Shocks and springs are all in good shape here. Your sway bar mounts, your bushings here at the frame, as well as your sway bar end links, the bushings and everything around that. All of that has been all gone over, checked out. Those are all in good shape. No issues whatsoever. The ball joints here on everything is all pretty much new with this CPP front suspension setup that you see underneath here. So again, all tubular. It's a much stronger, more rigid components than what your stock OEM stamped steel components would be. As we go out to the ends here, we'll talk about the brakes and the steering, of course. So this is a manual steering car, which isn't a big deal on these little 66 Novas here. It's pretty light up front. Once you get moving, you're not going to notice that too much. Actually, your steering input may be a little bit even better for you in that case. As far as the brakes go though, it does have power brakes. It is disc up front, just normal GM stuff here. So finding replacement parts is not going to be an issue for you. Be able to do that at any of your local auto parts stores. And then as far as, disc, it's disc or drum. It is disc up front, drums out on the rear. And when we get back there, we'll show you all of the emergency brake stuff has been all hooked up for you and all functional also. As far as the wheels and tires go on this, we'll take a look at those next. What we do have on here is a set of chromed steel 14-inch rally wheels here with the center caps. Again, a real nice classic look for the car here to keep it kind of OE looking here as far as your stance and so forth go. And then as far as the tires go, we do have a set of 185/75 R14 tires on the front. We'll go over what the back ones are once we get to that point. Now, once again, underneath the car here, we're going to go over the drivetrain on this car right now. So as far as the motor goes, this is not the original motor for this car. By the way, if I forgot to mention, this is a 118 VIN code car, which means it is a true SS Nova 2. But the motor that's in here, this is a 350 cubic inch small block GM Vortec motor. So it is going to have those center bolt heads, the center bolt valve covers and so forth. Good running car as far as the motor and drive line too. As far as the transmission goes, we've got an automatic tranny. This is the turbo 350 automatic transmission. You can see it's got a real nice finned chromed transmission pan here. That pan, as well as the oil pan itself, all leak free around here from what we can see. Also, you'll notice with the oil pan, it is a special pan here, all machined out so that you do have the clearance for your drag length for your steering. So again, that makes that real nice. As far as our exhaust here, obviously we can see that here hanging down now. This is a long tube header coming off of that 350 Vortec motor. A full, looks like 3-inch dual exhaust with Flowmaster mufflers on it, by the way. And then it does have the tailpipes up over top of the rear end, exiting out the rear of the car, which we'll see that here in just a little bit. Let's see here, as we come back a little further here, the transmission cross member, that is in great shape, nice and straight, all bolted in there. The actual tail shaft, the output shaft of the transmission, that seal is nice and dry there. The rest of the transmission nice and dry as well, and the actual tranny mount itself is in good shape. As far as the frame and floors here that we can see, the frames itself nice and straight all the way up towards the front. The floors are in really good shape on this car. I really don't see any patching per se, except for just up here. Looks like they had cut out the floor at one time for that transmission to make room for the shift linkage up there. But again, that's been all welded, all seam sealed. Again, the rest of the floors are in great shape here. All of your bracing and so forth is still present. To go along with that transmission, being that it's automatic, they did go ahead and mount in here a transmission cooler. So it is up underneath the car here, attached to the floor here, so it kind of gets some of that air passing back through underneath the car. Drive shaft. Drive shaft is balanced. That's going to help eliminate your, any kind of drive line vibrations that you may have with this particular vehicle. And then as far as the rear end goes, this is going to be a 10-bolt GM rear end. It is a limited slip differential, and that has a 323 gear to it. As far as the rear suspension, monoleaf rear suspension on this car, it does have a set of air shocks on it. And again, those are nice because you can raise or lower the rear ride height on the car just by simply putting an air hose to it, just to get it to where you like or to where it rides the best for you. Like I said, those Flowmaster mufflers here, the tailpipes coming off of those up over top of the rear end. We'll get a better look from the other side here in just a minute, but the exhaust itself, as far as your tailpipes go, everything's all welded up there, including the tips back there. Everywhere else, you've got the clamps here on either side of your mufflers. Of course, up at the collectors there, everything's bolted up with gaskets and so forth. Again, the rest of the floor looks great underneath here. Those emergency brake cables all run underneath here, all the way back to your rear drum brakes on the car. All of your bushings and mounting hardware for your suspension looks to be in good condition. The rear itself and your brake lines and so forth, those are all nice and dry, including your rear diff cover on there also. While we're back here, we'll take a look at the rear tire sizes on here also. So as far as that goes, we do have a 245/60 R14 on the back of the car. So again, it is 14-inch wheels all the way around. So again, we just went over the sizes. And again, all of this is going to be on our website too for all the specs and the options and so forth. As we turn around here now, again, you can see the back side here of the rear end. We'll look up here, and I'm going to call this kind of a I guess fuel tank slash fuel cell. I'm going to go more on the lines of a fuel tank though, just a aftermarket one. It is a square type tank. It does operate off of the actual stock fill neck and fuel fill door up top. There's no holes in the trunk that mount it. You've got your trunk or your fuel tank straps and so forth underneath here. So again, it's all nice. I'm going to guess the reason that they went with this particular type of tank in this car, probably to make a little bit more room for these for the tailpipes here to come out through on the inside of your leaf springs and still have enough room around that fuel tank. As you can see, 3-inch exhaust all the way back, nice chrome tips back here, and again, everything's all welded up. Again, the trunk floor itself is in great shape. As I mentioned, nice and dry around your differential cover here. Also, all your brake lines, those are all nice and dry as well. So that's pretty much it for underneath our 66 Nova 2 SS. So what we'll do next, as we always do, is go ahead and lower this. We'll go underneath the hood, fire this thing up. That way you get to hear what the motor and this dual Flowmaster exhaust all sound like.